Ah, man, I love tech death. And there's not a whole lot of bands better at tech death than ARCHSPIRE, and they're back with their brand new album, Bleed the Future. Is it a banger? Let's find out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the heaviest show in the universe. My name is Kane Irvine, and if you love awesome in-depth metal reviews, fantastic theory videos, and discussions about the absolute greatest genre of music in the entire universe, then go down below and sauce me one of these bad boys. Smash that subscribe button. Today we are reviewing ARCHSPIRE'S brand new album, Bleed the Future, and I have been eagerly anticipating this album. And so if you didn't know, ARCHSPIRE is a Canadian tech death band from my hometown of Vancouver, British Columbia, and I am so proud that these guys are from here. Exceptionally talented, exceptionally fast, exceptionally brutal. These guys are exceptional at everything they do, and their album Relentless Mutation from 2017 was nominated for a Juno Award here in Canada, which is the Canadian version of a Grammy. They definitely love to use 8-string guitars, and this adds a very heavy element, a very deep element to their music that allows them to groove in ways other tech death bands can't. And Ollie, the vocalist, is really good at riding those grooves, and that's what makes ARCHSPIRE incredibly special, and that was exemplified on Relentless Mutation. Let's see if Bleed the Future really holds up to what the template of Relentless Mutation set out for these guys. So right off the bat, their playing is incredibly tight. It's almost mind-blowing. Everything's really compacted together, and all the instruments are having their time to shine in each individual song, and they all work together to create what the music is. A lot of metal will sometimes push the bass off to the side and say like, hey, you're just there to add depth to the music, but not in ARCHSPIRE. Really, this is incredible bass playing on this album. Not only does it do its standard job of adding depth to the music, a lot of the time it sounds like they have a third guitar there, and I love that they give Jared his time to shine on this album. And like I said before, Ollie Peters is one of the most talented vocalists in death metal. I'm not sure what exactly his training regimen is, but I hope it's good, because I'm just listening to this guy's voice and I'm like, dude, he must be destroyed at the end of every show and recording session. But he is incredibly talented, and one of my absolute favorite things about Ollie is the way his vocals ride the rhythms of the guitars, ride the rhythms of the bass. It's mind-blowing. It's very special, and not a lot of tech death bands, not a lot of their vocalists are able to do what he does. Not only is it very deep and guttural, but it adds its own element to the music. It's not a novelty or anything like that. It's super important and vital to the sound of ARCHSPIRE. Tobi and Dean really play off each other in their melodies. It's beautiful to listen to, and it kind of reminds me of Marty and Dave on Rust in Peace, trading solos and trading rhythms back and forth like something off of Hangar 18. And it's not just their solos, it's the way their rhythms and the way their harmonies interact with each other as well. And this is perfectly exemplified on Drain of Incarnation. Some of these riffs have so much damn stank on them. But if we're going to talk about the glue of the band that really keeps everything together, then we need to talk about Spencer Pruitt. Of course, everyone talks about the speed of his drumming, which is of course awesome, but no one talks about the structure that he has and the way that he is like a praying mantis back there, really keeping everything together. I really think if it wasn't for his immense talent on that kit back there, that this band would sound a lot more messy than they do. They're all very talented, and I'm sure they'd find a way to figure it out, but having Spencer back there on the kit really holds this band together. He's the MVP of this album, low-key. And that's what makes him so special, because you wouldn't expect it just listening to the album, but when you listen through and you start listening for the drums, you'll see how instrumental he is to their sound. But it's not all good. Unfortunately, there were some glaring things that stood out to me on this album that kind of made it a disappointment for me. This album, it gets pretty repetitive. Every song kind of relies on the same structure of a melodic, clean intro, and then a melodic, clean, arpeggiated bridge or middle riff. And then at some point in the song, every single time, they're gonna hit you with a staccato and then blast you with all the instruments at once. And this sounds really cool at first, but it kind of wears out its welcome eventually. And it makes me think that maybe they were running out of ideas and maybe they were running out of ingenuity to put on this album. It's still really cool, it's still a lot of fun to listen to, but just after about the fourth time you hear it, it starts taking away from what would otherwise be like banger songs, man. And just like, wow, I've heard this same pattern on all the other songs. But that's really the only bad thing I had to say about this album. I am a little disappointed. I am a little disappointed because it's not as good as Relentless Mutation. It doesn't have the same amount of groove and melodic structure that they did have on Relentless Mutation. This doesn't really feel like a progression for them. It's kind of like in my review for Trivium, I said, this is a great album, but it doesn't really feel like it's pushing Trivium forward. This album doesn't really feel like it's pushing ARCHSPIRE forward. It just feels like it's them cementing their spot as an incredibly talented technical death metal band. Maybe for their next album, I want to see them push a little bit further and see what else they can do with their music instead of trying to blast us as hard and as fast as they can with every single song. That being said, I am going to see these guys in a couple days live and I'm pretty stoked for it. So if you're in Vancouver and you're going to go check these guys out at the Rickshaw Theater, I'm definitely going to be there. If you see me, come hit me up, we'll enjoy the show together, maybe hop in the pit. Adding up each individual score from each individual song and dividing by the number of songs on the album, we get a final score of 8.3 out of 10, which is still, despite what I said, an S tier banger. Like I said, this album is an incredible display of musical talent in every single way that you can think of, but it does end up getting repetitive over time, and if they continue on this trend with their next album, playing the same songs and the same structure, it's not going to be this good. It's not going to be the same. I'm going to lose my appetite for these guys. So what did you think of this album? Did you enjoy it? And where did I go wrong? Maybe I'm missing something. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if I'm definitely missing something about this album, because I really like ARCHSPIRE. They're Vancouver boys just like your man, and so I don't want to hate on these guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, go down below, sauce me one of these bad boys, smash that subscribe button, and we will see you next time on the heaviest show in the universe. Long live metal.